Okay, we got a question here. He wants to know what the difference is between a moral fact versus an opinion.
Or why did you ask, why are you talking about that?
Why were you talking about moral facts versus opinions?
Well, the reason why we were talking about morality, whether it's subjective. And the reason why we're talking about that is because there are so many people today they don't believe in God, whatever other worldview they believe in that's not of the Bible. Especially atheists, they believe in some sort of morality. Like an atheist will say, well, like murder is wrong. Why is murder wrong in the atheist's eyes? What can the atheist look back to on a standard and say that is wrong? In our worldview as a Christian worldview, God has said, for just an example, for murder, like God says, like, do not take the life of an image bearer of God. Since we are all image bearers of God, God has made us in God's image, it is wrong to take the life of another human. And so we can look back to God, who's all-knowing and all-powerful, and say, well, God has said it's wrong, God has said it's evil, and because of that, we know we should abstain from that. Whereas from the atheist world standard or worldview, where do they get that standard of morality from? So we start talking about it. Now, when it comes to opinions can be like, well, for example, like, I'm not a coffee fan. Rich likes coffee. He's drinking coffee right now. That's an opinion. That has nothing to do with like ethical or moral standards when it comes to how we function.
I get that. That makes sense. I mean, I'm sure an atheist, they got their standards from just what they believed in and how, like, laws were at the time.
Yeah, but where do they?
And from societal rules, just from living.
Where do they derive those moral standards from, though?
I mean, just from their culture, or just from how they live.
From culture? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, what is culture made up of?
Well, it's how people act.
It's made up of people and how people function. It's like if morality is if morality finds its authority within itself, within a person, then what you might think is good or bad might be different than what I think is good or bad.
Sure.
And society is made up of people who all collectively say, well, this is actually good. Why though? Like, where are they getting that standard from? I think the reason why it's become so hard to answer is because
He says from culture.
Because people have blurred the lines between, they've taken the objective morality from God's worldview and they've blurred it into an atheist worldview where people are just like, well, it's good because it is good. It's like, why? Well, it's just because it is.
It's like the majority. He's saying it's from culture, like the majority of people think this. You know, you might have one person that think it's bad or two, you know, like.
Use that as our kind of go-to, but everybody knows what it is, so it's kind of convenient. You look at Nazi Germany, and they've actually convinced many people, if not most, that the Jews were evil, they needed to be eradicated, that was a morally good thing to do, was to rid the world of Jews. You know, we would look at that now and I think appropriately and factually say that was morally reprehensible. And so even though in that particular society, you know, that was something that was deemed aspirational, we can appeal to a standard that's not dependent upon a society, a transcendent standard, and evaluate it as morally evil.
I get what you're saying. I gotta eat. This ain't cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
God bless you.